And what's going on, everyone? Welcome into a week 17 edition of Parlay with the G's. TC, that's crazy. We're already here at the end of the
We're deep
season,
in
week
the season.
17, 2 games left, but we're here to cook it up on Wednesday. We got some Christmas games this week, three of those
Christmas
to be
Eve
exact. Brought to you by Netflix, who just bought Warner Bros. As well.
and
Interesting
Netflix game
stock
on
option if you
Christmas.
like this game. And they got some Netflix football going down for us as well, too. So we're excited to bring that to you this week here on Parlay with the G's. TC, you are the winner 2 weeks in a row. W2, hot two win streak coming off 2 weeks in a row with Parlay with the G's. Your circle of trust came through for you last week. Let's hear
Indeed,
that
it
recap. Who
did.
could be trusted as of week 16? And I'm very fascinated to know if they'll be making their way into week 17 with you as well.
No, I mean, I feel like I finally took your ideology, which is kind of funny because I bounced off the money lines onto your ideology. We're moving the spread, taking a six leg
The
teaser,
all lines.
and it's been working out for me. So, I mean, who says I don't do it again this week? But to recap, last week we had the Packers plus Packers plus 7.5,
Crazy game.
the Giants plus 10.5,
Let's
the
go.
Jacksonville Jaguars plus 10.5, the Arizona Cardinals plus 10.5, the
Yep.
Raiders plus 21.5, and the
Wow.
Browns plus 21.5.
Wow.
I
Browns
mean,
lost by
wasn't
three.
didn't really sweat any of them, to be blatantly honest. The closest one was the Packers. I mean, and that was six, but every other game, easy, clear wins. So, I mean, it's back to the thing. Is like, you're getting 21 points in the NFL and there's such these massive spreads, but it's a week to week sport like we talk about. So, when I think you get that much numbers and you can move the line that Vegas is setting, it's just moving it in the right direction. It's really tough when you move it to like a -2.5 and that misses. So on the
Yeah, hate
contrary,
that.
if you take a plus 14.5, that's my theory of, what side are you going to try to play here? And
Right.
that's going to feel like it's coming into handy, especially with these Christmas games. I mean, we got some big lines this week. And then diving into Sunday, also some big lines. So might have to be cooking up something of the sorts this week. But yeah, two circle of trust in a row is fun. We can go for the
Let's
three.
let's go. Making the podcast what it is. Parlay with the G's, hitting your parlays the last 2 weeks. Love to see it. Love seeing a combination of those alt lines to go along with those teasers as well too, and
Mhm.
diverting from your trusted strategy, Cinco
Well, the money
5
lines got
money
hard.
lines.
It got
Yeah.
hard, and you were heavy favorites were losing. So it's like I'm gonna maybe move it a little bit, and maybe that's a little safer in my mind right now. But who knows?
All right, well, hey, let's get into it here. To recap for me last week, man, I'm trying to help you guys out here. I'm trying to give you the circle of trust. And the circle of trust last week was the Eagles money line over the Commanders. They took care of business. Then we had the Rams plus 8.5 on Thursday Night Football. I told you that game's going to be close. Man, you called it on the 1 point swing for that game as well, too.
That was
And that
crazy. Yeah, it
that
was a
ends up
good
being what,
call.
like a 38-37 type game. You literally threaded the needle on the dot right there. That game was crazy. After that, I had the Texans money line over the Raiders. I got the Bills money line over the Browns. That was closer than you would think. That was a 3 point game. And then finally, I was just drinking the Broncos Kool-Aid. I don't know what to tell you. We're watching those Gruden videos. How about the Denver Broncos? Bo Nix, three passing touchdowns, 32 points, 1 quarter. Who? And I'm like, yeah, dude, they're 12 and 2. I think the Jags are a little fraudulent. I don't think they're as good as the record is showing. Come to Denver, see what it's like to play a real contender in the Broncos. And the Jags beat them 34-20. So 5 out of 6 last week, but the Broncos shot my circle of trust. They're due for a win. I mean, a loss, especially if you're 12 and 2, it can happen. But I was feeling
We
good
say
about
that,
them
but the
last week.
Patriots, are they due for a loss?
That's why we're going to try to call it here this week. And they get to play the Jets this week. So I feel pretty good about the Pats. But let's get it cooking here, TC. Merry Christmas to everyone. Happy holidays out there. We're going to start off Thursday morning in Washington with the Dallas Cowboys going to visit the Washington Commanders. Cowboys 6-8-1 on the season, Washington at 4-11. It said that Josh Johnson is going to get the start for the Washington Commanders. Jaden Daniels and Mariota not going to be playing this week. Cowboys opened up as a 3 point favorite, but that since swung since the quarterback news, and now Cowboys are favored by 8.5.
That's crazy. The line this morning was 7.5 when I took the Cowboys. But yeah, you want to start with your boys? What you think's gonna happen
Let's
on
start
this
with the
very
boys. I mean,
very
let's
day
just
on Netflix?
on Netflix, we're showcased, hey, the Cowboys religiously, what I'll say about them, I've lived through so many 8-8 seasons, so many 9-8 seasons. This is right on par with some 8-1 type season that we're heading for. I mean, what, they went up 17-0 on the Chargers last week and lost that game 34-17. Like, what a blunder that was to see. But they couldn't win last week against the Chargers at home. They're usually good at playing at home. We know they can put up points. We know their defense is trash. Factor that into the equation. But Washington just isn't the same team as last year. This isn't the same team as the NFC Championship team. This is a team that's, on broken pins and needles at this point. They're fielding teams that they can get out there. Last week, let's see, Washington lost to Philly significantly by more than, double digits, 29-18. I go Cowboys money line. That's where my mind goes first here. Put that in your circle of trust. Dak Prescott against Josh Johnson. Dak's had the entire season to play. You know he's going to put up numbers. CeeDee Lamb, Pickens, they'll show up to the party as well too. Let's go Cowboys on the money line here. As far as the 8.5 number goes, I'm not going to tell you to put that in your circle of trust, but for podcast purposes, let's go Cowboys to cover 8.5 for me this week. Would I be surprised if Washington covered that? No, but Cowboys money line. That's what I'm going to feed to you here for our first game of the week. What say UTC?
Um, I'm right there with you. I think it's Christmas, morning, 1 p.m. game. It's the Cowboys. They're gonna come out with a bang. I think that's gonna be a high power offense. A lot of points for the boys. I'm gonna ride boys 8.5 with you. And obviously Cowboys money line as well. I just haven't seen what I needed to see out of the Commanders. They're banged up on a new quarterback. I mean, they haven't been good on backups. We've already seen that, so it can't be better on the third string. I mean, yes, you're playing a bad defense with the Cowboys, but I think the Cowboys offense is too high power for the Commanders right now. I think they cover 8.5.
All right, let's push it forward here. The Detroit Lions at 8-7 going to play the Minnesota Vikings at 7-8. The Lions are not dead yet, but that was a tough loss for them last week against the Steelers. They thought that that call should have been made on the goal line. It wasn't. Steelers get the win, and also we'll get to DK Metcalf later and what happened to him. However, though, the Vikings upset the Lions the first time around this season. And so now the Lions get a chance to go to Minnesota on their turf and take it to them again here too. So in the second matchup, the second time around in the NFC North, the Lions are 7.5 point favorites here. They opened up at 3.5, and that's because Max Brosmer is going to step in now again for the Vikings, and we're not going to see JJ McCarthy, who has an injured hand here this week. TC, we love the Lions on this podcast, but we would have been wrong 7 times this season if we would have picked them as winners. How do you see
Really,
this one
honestly,
playing
yeah.
out in Minnesota?
Can't get a good grasp on the Lions, man. I mean, it's week to week with them. They're good and they're bad. At the same time, we love them, but they're 8-7. Um, but the Vikings are sneaky 7-8. I think there's got to be one upset of Christmas. I'm gonna pick this as my upset of the day. I'm gonna say the Vikings are gonna take this game, beat the Lions twice in the season, beat them at home.
Wow.
Yeah, I think there's gonna be one upset. Why not take it here?
Hey, let's go. And especially with analytics, I mean, I'm looking at 76% on the Lions. That would be a significant upset. What that spells for me, for you, is you may like the Vikings on some sort of plus 14.5 for this week.
Yep,
If you like them on a potential upset, a tease like a plus 14.5 sounds good.
exactly. Go get more points. It's Christmas. It's got to be a good game.
All right, so for me in this game here, I mean, I can't trust Max Brosmer, so that's for sure something that I'm thinking about right away. I'm thinking that the Lions have had a disappointing season. They haven't fulfilled their full potential, but the fact that they still have a chance in the playoffs, I think for them gives them motivation. Also, the fact that they lost to the Vikings on their home turf the first time around this season, that also gives them motivation. Two quick points here. We're not on the third game yet. Dak Prescott against Josh Johnson. Give me the team with Dak Prescott. Jared Goff against Max Brosmer. Give me the team with Jared Goff here on their team. It's as simple as that for me. Let's go Lions on the money line. As far as that 7.5 number, I mean, that's a little tough, especially for a divisional game. But I'm also going to play this as a backup quarterback. So give me the Lions with the 7.5 points as well. Okay, next up, let's go AFC West. The Denver Broncos, who let me down last week at 12-3, are going to go play the Chiefs, Quarterback of the Chiefs is said to be this week Chris Oladaku. That's going to be playing for them. We've never seen him play for the Chiefs. That's because Gardner Minshew went down with an ACL injury last week. But the Broncos, you're talking about big spreads. They're a big spread favorite here. They opened up at 5.5. Now they're up to 13.5 with the backup quarterback news for the Chiefs, and analytics are giving them a 56% chance to win this matchup. TC, how do you see this one going down Christmas in Kansas City?
AFC battle, we don't like the Chiefs, and the Broncos just came off a hard loss. I think if the Broncos bounce back, absolute dog walk to end Christmas. I'm gonna go Broncos minus 13.5. Broncos money line. I just don't think the Chiefs have what it take. New quarterback we've never seen in the NFL. It's a hard team to go play against. It's got to be the Broncos.
All right, and simple as that there. Mile High City going in, and that's a big spread. I know you like to tease the underdogs, but you feel good about Denver this week if you like them to win the
Hmm.
game by 14 points. That gives me some confidence as well here. I'm going Broncos as well. Broncos money line, that circle of trust. That's what comes up to my mind right away. Now, 13.5, I don't like to mess with numbers like that. If anything, I would cut that down to 6 points just to feel safe. We'll see later in the podcast if 6 point Bronco win goes in circle of trust. But money line is where my mind goes right away. Yeah, for the Chiefs, I think you got to pack it in. You avoid some injuries. At this point, you're not playing for much. You're 6-9. You're out of the playoffs. The Broncos, on the other hand, they're competing with New England. They want to get the number one seed. They want the playoffs to run through Denver, and that's part of their motivation as well here too. So let's roll with the ponies. Let's take them with 14 points, but I would not put 14 points in a circle of trust parlay for the week. Okay, next up, this is a playoff rematch that we saw last year between the Texans and the Chargers. This game is going to be on Saturday. We have two games on Saturday this week, and the Houston Texans at 10-5 are going to play the LA Chargers at 11-4. This is very likely a first round playoff matchup that we could see. In this matchup here, the Texans are not favored. In fact, the Chargers are favored by 1.5 at home. Absolute coin flip game with analytics giving the Chargers a 51% chance to win this matchup here. Texans coming off of a win last week by a narrow margin against the Raiders, 23-21. Chargers coming off of a 34-17 win against the Cowboys in Dallas last week. TC, how do you see this AFC matchup going down Saturday?
Um, it's a tough matchup. I mean, it's funny to have these Saturday games, and I mean, I think they're both banger games on Saturday. But if I'm really thinking about it, the best defense in the league. They're a hard team to fade, and the Chargers. I mean, I feel like they've been on a little bit. I mean, of a rift. I've seen a little bit of differences in how they've played. They let the Cowboys go up 17-0. You let the Texans do that. I don't think you win that game. Um, so I'm gonna stick with the Texans. I would like to see them make the playoffs. You have it as division winners.
Yeah.
I think it'd be a fun. It's going to be a good win in the trenches game, and I think the Texans win in the trenches, and so I'm going to go Texans.
All right, let's go Toros, baby. Houston Texans to push their way to 11-5 on the season. That would also push the Chargers to 11-5. So you're looking at two wild card head to head right there, unless we'll see what happens with Jacksonville this week as the
Hmm.
Texans are on their heels for the AFC South and the Colts. Yeah, they looking like they've slid off at this point. Look, the Chargers are impressive. The Chargers are not to be messed with this year. They're 11-4. I mean, that record in itself lets you know that they're legit. The defense is legit. The offense is looking a lot better. The Chargers would be a scarier team right now for me to face against the Texans, who upset them last year in the playoffs. However, though, I got Texans as division winners preseason. That's still in play right now. So, I'm going to go Texans with you here, too. I'm going to believe in their defense as the best defense in the league, not one of the best, the best. I would say the Rams are also up there for, consideration as well, too. But the Rams let up a whole lot of points last week against Seattle. So, yeah, let's go Texans defense, make things tough for Justin Herbert. CJ Stroud, just keep that offense serviceable. Get Nico Collins the rock as much as possible. He's the shining star for them. And yeah, their defense is going to have to take this for them. So let's go Texans. And then we like them by at least 3 points. So take them at plus 1.5. Okay, next up, we got Baltimore Ravens at 7-8 going to play the Green Bay Packers at 9-5-1. We saw Jordan Love go out last game, so that's significant. Will Malik Willis get the start again this week? It's saying that Jordan Love is questionable. Packers are 3 point favorites at home here with analytics giving them 57% chance to win. But also Lamar Jackson is questionable with
Didn't
the
practice
back.
today.
Yeah, he didn't practice today as well too. So that's going to be tough to tell. We got two questionable quarterbacks here. Also, Jordan Love is due to a concussion. So TC, how do you see this one playing out in Green Bay?
I'm
Tough
gonna
game
play
to
it out like
predict.
yeah, I'm gonna play it out like both quarterbacks play. I think the Packers go ahead and take this one at home. It's a hard place to go play, especially with the Ravens being so rocky this year. I think the Packers are just more of a solidified team, in my opinion. And so if both quarterbacks play, I'm going to take the Packers money line. I think they can cover a -3 too. I think it's gonna be a tight game, but I think it's winning on a last minute field goal. So I'll go -3 as well.
All right, let's go, Pack, go to push their way to 10, 5, and 1. And they really need this one, especially with that NFC wildcard race. You've got teams like San Francisco and also Chicago that are playing really well too. And, teams like the Panthers that are vying to win their division. So, yeah, there's a lot of chaos going on in the wild card for both divisions, but the Packers
Mhm.
definitely need this one. But so do the Ravens. The Ravens aren't dead yet. The Ravens are still behind the Steelers. The Steelers could lose their next two games. They're not going to have DK Metcalf for the next two games. It's possible. And Baltimore also gets to play the Steelers the last game of the season. So that could have some AFC North division winner implications as well here, too. So with that being said, I'm just going to go with my preseason division winner pick, Baltimore Ravens. They're still alive right now, and let's keep it that way for me. I'll take the Ravens to cover 3 + 3 and Ravens on the money line in Green Bay this week. And hoping that Lamar Jackson's going to play here with his back injury. That's a major factor. If he's not in there, go Packers, even with Malik Willis. Okay, next up, let's go. Pittsburgh Steelers at 9-6, going to play the Cleveland Browns at 3-12. The Steelers are 3-point favorites on the road here, with analytics giving them 72% chance to win this matchup. DK Metcalf is suspended, so he's not going to be playing for them. And
See you,
also,
buddy.
TJ Watt with a lung is spotted participating in Wednesday's practice. So it's looking like they're going to get TJ Watt back here. All right, TC, let's do it. Who do you see winning this one and taking it in Cleveland?
I mean, the Browns, it's like, they've looked decent against bad teams, but I think the Steelers have an actual solid team, even without DK Metcalf. I mean, how much of a valuable asset has he really been this year? I think Aaron Rodgers has been his facilitator, getting the ball around to a lot of different receivers. Um, I think the Steelers are the playoff, berth clinch. Um, kind of want to solidify themselves as a good team, so they go out and beat the Browns, and I think they can beat them by 3. So I feel good about the Steelers.
Yeah, I mean, for me in this one, it's hard to pick Cleveland. For rooting's sake, the fact that I had Baltimore preseason, the only reality that Baltimore can do it is if the Steelers lose to the Browns this week and then lose to Baltimore next week. However, Baltimore would have to beat Green Bay this week and then beat the Steelers next week, and they would both be 9-8. And how does that get decided if two teams are 9-8 and they've also split with each other on games? I have no idea how that would get decided by the NFL, but that's going to be very interesting. With
I
that
mean,
being
could
said,
that happen to the Panthers and Bucks too? They might have to do it twice.
right? Oh my God. They're like, you know what? We're just gonna make you guys play one more game, and that'll buy your way into the playoffs. Let's extend the playoffs here with an extra game. Yeah, so for me in this one, I'll go Browns for my own personal sake here on the money line and +3. But I do not feel great about it. I can very well see the Steelers. They're just more tight and buttoned up as an
That's what I'm thinking
organization.
too.
They've been winning games recently, and the Browns have been losing games recently, even with Shador Sanders stepping in. It's not made a whole difference for them as far as winning these games. They were close with Buffalo last week, but yeah, let's go. Let's go Browns. I'll be rooting for the Brownies this week. All right, let's go next up. New England Patriots 12-3, going to play the Jets at 3-12. I don't know if I should talk a whole lot about this. The Patriots are favored by 14. Analytics are giving them 71% chance. It
Don't
may
need
be
to.
Brady Gookin. I mean, we're both going
Patriots minus
Patriots by
13 and a half.
14.
Yeah, I'm good. Yep. On to the
Peace.
next.
Circle of trust. Next. Saints, Titans, 5-10. Saints, Titans, 3-12 this week. Also an ugly game we would not put in our circle of trust, but I don't know if TC has other plans. Saints
Nope, do
favored by
not.
3. Analytics 55% for New Orleans. What say you, TC?
Uh, Saints minus 2.5, I guess, to make the NFC South look better. I don't care. Sin contacto.
Sin contacto. I'm
I
joining
think
you.
Saints are a little bit more buttoned up than Titans. Titans haven't shown me anything this year, but like, yeah, as much as that is to say, sure, 2.5. We'll watch.
Yeah, I agree. Not much to say here as well. If anything, I'd go Saints on the money line. But yeah, let's go Saints by 3 here. Okay, next up. This is important for some of us, depending on how you feel about either team. The Jacksonville Jaguars at 11 and 4 are going to go play the Indianapolis Colts at 8 and 7. Jacksonville favored by 6.5 on the road here, with analytics giving them a 60% chance to win. Philip Rivers not looking bad, but
He
they
was
just
slinging it.
didn't have enough to keep up with the 49ers offense. Brock Purdy had 5 touchdowns on Monday night. And if you're playing against him in the fantasy championship semifinal, that was terrible. TC, how do you see this one playing out in Indy?
Yeah, Jacksonville, what they showed me. I mean, I had them on the money line for the Panthers, and they made me some cash last weekend. So I'm going to ride that high into them again this week. They got a high power offense as well, and I think that their defense is kind of surprising to me. And so I think going up against the Colts again, Philip Rivers, yes, he's slinging the rock, but until he covers the spread, I think I'm going to keep fading him. So
Whoa, he has covered a spread against Seattle a few weeks ago.
he did actually in his first game back. Yeah, but I mean. Okay, we'll go Jacksonville money line.
Did I just talk you into Indy plus
No, I think
six
I'm
and a
still
half?
taking six. I'm still taking 6.5. I trust Jacksonville more. They're more round team. They got a playoff burn. I think Trevor Lawrence looks. I've talked more shit about Trevor Lawrence than anybody else. I put respect on his name this year. I think he's actually looking like an elite quarterback. I mean, I had him on a rushing touchdown plus 650 last. I mean, I'm kind of high on them just because I was cash and bet. So I'm gonna stick to that and minus 6.5.
Let's get the locks flowing in the end zone here. The
Why not?
triumphant,
Man?
that
We
fall that he
love
had
TD
against
scores
Kansas
over
City
here.
earlier this year, but he still managed to get in the end zone. That was
Yep.
crazy. That was a good
He
one.
wants it. You can tell he wants it.
All right, yeah. So for me in this one, I mean, I'll be rooting for Indy for Houston's sake. I'll be rooting for Indy, but I can't pick the Colts to beat the Jags right now. The Jags upset my circle of trust last week. They went into Denver. They beat Denver. That proves to me that they're legit because I hold the Broncos to like the highest standard right now in the AFC this season at 12 and 2. So yeah, we'll go Duval here. We'll be rooting for Indy. As far as 6.5 goes, let's take the Colts to cover plus 6.5 and keep it competitive. Okay, next up, let's go Tampa Bay Buccaneers at 7 and 8. Man, what the hell happened to the Bucks this season?
I
And the
love it.
Dolphins at 6 and 9. And you were boots on the ground last week as Carolina took it to them. That's great. Bucks favored by 5.5 on the road. Analytics giving them 68% chance.
You
What
know
do
my
you?
pick. It's purely for the Panthers. I'm going Dolphins money line. If the Dolphins win and somehow we beat Seattle, we win the division. So might as well make it easier for us. I hope the Dolphins win. If I'm being strategic, I think that the Buccaneers, they're on 3 game losing streak as they get
Yeah,
healthier.
they can't be trusted.
I don't trust them at all.
But
So this is a
also
game.
Miami is like you can't trust
Also a
Miami
dumpster
either.
fire too, but they're
Yeah.
trying. Yeah, they're trying a new quarterback, so maybe that it could help in a weird situation. So I'm hoping for it. But this is a game I probably stay away from. But just for the Panthers' sake, I'm gonna go Dolphins. I think I'd take them plus 5.5 regardless, but I also want them to win, so I'm gonna take a money line.
All right. Yeah. So for me in this one here, I'm going to go Bucks. I mean, I think it's a bounce back situation for them. I trust Baker Mayfield more than I trust Quinn Ewers. They fucked up last week, but now they've got a chance to right their wrongs, go to 8 and 8, and then that's going to be a big showdown next week against Carolina as they'll be hosting them the second time
Mhm.
around. Kind of
For a
like the
playoff
Ravens
spot.
Steelers. Like watch the Browns beat the Steelers this week. I'm just saying, watch the Browns beat the Steelers this week, and the Ravens have to go where they go to the Pittsburgh. Yeah, they would go to Pittsburgh and have to play them for season finale. And watch the Seahawks beat the Panthers this week, and the Panthers have to go to Tampa Bay for
Yep.
the season finale for the division. That's
I talked
that's
about it last week. It's a
that's a
script.
possibility.
The NFL is going to eat this. They want the week 18 to matter. They're
Yeah.
like, we gave you guys an extra week of football, and it's going to matter. We're going to give you another one in 2 years. We're going to get these guys playing until April.
All right, hey, so we'll see what goes in the circle of trust at the end of the podcast here, but you can get ahead of the script. That's a very serious possibility if you're following it well enough here. It's about the ratings. It's not about who's the better team. Let's go Bucks by 6 for me. Okay, next up, TC, we got your squad here. The Seahawks. Ooh, this is a good one. At 12 and 3,
Yeah,
coming
I
into
mean,
Charlotte. The Panthers going to be hosting them at 8-7. Seahawks favored by 7 on the road, with analytics giving them 68% chance. However, though, the Panthers have been able
We
to
love
prove
playing
to
at the
upset
bank.
teams.
We love
They've
playing at the
upset the
bank.
Rams, they've upset the Packers. How do you see this one shaking out in Charlotte this
Dude,
week?
I mean, I'd love nothing more than to be the Seahawks, especially like, this is the story. Like, Bryce Young, all this trash talk of him for the last multiple years, and he has to go play the two quarterbacks that the Panthers jumped off before him. We already beat, the Bucks with Baker Mayfield. Now we got to go play Sam Darnold, who we also dropped off. So it's this whole thing of like, maybe there's a little animosity on both sides. So I think it being a really good game. I think a lot of defense will be played. Hopefully some high power offense too. When we play the Rams 32-31, great score, great game. So I'm hoping to get something similar. We're playing at the banks. We got home field advantage. Crowd was loud against the Bucks. That was a really cool thing. Showed out, full sold out game. So I'm gonna hope my boys can pull it off. I'm gonna go Panthers money line, Panthers +7. But I think it's gonna be closer than people think. So I feel really good about Panthers 7. Circle of trust. I keep emotion out of circle of trust, but I'm
That's
definitely
right.
gonna take it. I'm gonna take it solo.
Yeah, you get a little ISO off to the
Yeah, you
side,
have to.
for
It's
a
my
little
boys.
ISO on the side for rooting sake. Now, when it comes to Circle of Trust with all that personal emotion involved, oh, well, the Cowboys be going in this week. We'll find out later here. But all right, so we got keep pounding to push their way to 9-7 here. I'm going Seahawks. I can't let you down here, TC. I mean,
That's fair.
I'm sorry, they're 12 and
Are the better
3. They're
team.
going to
Yeah,
play
the better team.
Carolina. They're the better team. They should win the game. Now by 7, that's an interesting number right there. But I think that with Sam Darnold not having a good outing with Carolina and kind of getting fucked over, I think that gives him a little bit of juice that he gives to his teammates, and the Seahawks defense is legit. Let's go Seattle
I mean, it
minus
could
7.
this could be a potential playoff game.
Very well potential playoff game. And
Could be.
Texans Chargers, that's a playoff game we could see in the first
Hmm.
round too.
I mean,
However, though, depending on who's the division winner here, like if the Rams do well in the next two games, it would be the Panthers that get to host the playoff game because they're division winners.
I'm flying back for it, guaranteed.
Benefits of getting in the shitty NFC South, you get to host the playoff game if you have a shitty record.
Yeah, who doesn't want to play the bank? Cash
Let's
that check.
All right, let's push it forward here to the Arizona Cardinals at 3-12, going to play the Cincinnati Bengals at 5-10. But the Bengals have been winning a little bit
Put on a
recently.
banger last week. Dropped
Yeah,
45.
45 to 21 in Miami. The Cardinals, on the other hand, losing 26 to 19, but you got them teased in your circle of trust. Spread wise, Cincinnati 7.5, 65% chance analytics to win. Can we put the Bengals in our circle of trust this week?
I mean, they're getting kind of close, and mine's more of an antitrust for the Cardinals. I've been loving fading the Cardinals recently, and the Bengals. I mean, yes, they did get shut out by the Ravens, which was a very weird fluke. But I mean, after last week, it showed me that they could put up points. Um, maybe they found a little bit of offensive flow with Joe Burrow, and maybe Joe Burrow's playing for a little bit more than just trying to get a winning record, but maybe a contract coming up, the next couple of years, trying to show he's
Mhm.
still an elite quarterback in the NFL. I think they can cover 7.5, and I think they need this win, for kind of morale and just overall, coaches' jobs, things of that sort. So I'll take with the Bengals, to beat the Cardinals at home, and I think they can beat them by 7.5. Take it by 8.
All
So
right, let's
I
get
I
it.
for Circle of Trust. That's a buy down, but could be on.
The Cardinals for me, they're just a team that keeps games close. So I'll go Cardinals plus 7.5. But I think money line may enter Circle of Trust this week. Just as the fact that they put up 45 last week. You got
Not really
Burrow,
bad
you got
odds.
Chase. Like, Let's go Houday Bengals. All right, next
Yeah.
up, New York Giants 2-13, going to play the Raiders at 2-13,
Giants are
which
my
is why
boys. I'll take the
TC
Giants.
is going to put the
So
Giants in a
yeah,
Circle of Trust this
no,
week.
no, sin contacto in this game. But I mean, take the Giants, but a game doesn't matter. I think it's a wash. But I like the Giants. Hopefully it's a fun game. Get to see Jackson Dart put up some numbers, but I don't have much more to say about it.
Yeah, I mean, this is a 1.5 point spread here with analytics giving the Giants 53% chance. I'm not confident about either team. So just for that sake, let's go Las Vegas Raiders to get a win. It's been so long since
Watch
the
the first
Raiders
quarter, then just
have
turn
got
it
a
over to the
win.
Eagles Bills games. Yeah,
Yeah. All right, let's go. Next up, Philadelphia Eagles 10 and 5 going to play the Buffalo Bills at 11 and
Banger,
4. Super
banger
Bowl,
game,
Super Bowl
bang,
preview. Could
banger
be.
game.
Could be. All right, so in this matchup here, I feel like I've been wanting to watch this game for a long time. It's
I
just
am
never
too.
actually played out. Both nasty fans, both really good teams. Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts as well, but this is going down in Buffalo, so this is going to be a nasty
Home field
matchup here.
advantage. I mean, what's the
Bills,
weather looking like too? The weather could be a factor.
weather is looking like 41 degrees, so
Okay, so
we're
not
not getting
awful.
snow, and also cloudy. So no awful weather. It's also
Okay,
turf in Buffalo. Both
good.
teams used to playing in the elements. Bills opened up as 3-point favorites. That's now shaved down to 1.5. I have a phenomenal analytics for you right here. Bills favored by 50.2%. Eagles
Wow.
have 49.4% according to ESPN analytics. Um,
Point three is on a tie.
I mean, and of course, a whole bunch of questionables on the report. Lane Johnson, Nakobe Dean, Jalen Carter questionable, Kincaid is questionable, Poyer's questionable, Josh
Everybody's
Allen's
gonna play this
questionable.
game. This game matters
Everyone's
too much. Everybody's gonna
questionable.
play. Everybody's gonna play. This game matters too much. It's
Let's
gonna be
rip
a
it,
banger,
TC. Let's rip
banger
it.
and a half of a game. I mean, what a great game to flip off the Giants and Raiders and come to this to end the day solo 425 game. Um, I think Josh Allen these games he wins, and because he wins on the last second drive where he has the ball last. Um, at home, if this is a playoff game, I take the Eagles. But since it's in the regular season and Josh Allen dominates the regular season, I'm gonna stick with Josh Allen.
Let's go,
That's literally the only why.
JA17.
This is
Circled
a Super
11s.
Bowl.
Let's
I
go,
take the Eagles.
Buffalo.
This is the Super Bowl. I take the Eagles. But it is a regular season game. Josh Allen's better in the regular season.
TC, I have the Buffalo Bills as preseason division winners.
Wow.
However, though, if we're looking at the New England Patriots, their record right now is 12 and 3. The
Yep.
Bills' record is 11 and 4. So, if the Bills win this week, that puts them to 12 and 4.
The
However,
Jets
though,
somehow beat the Patriots.
the Jets aren't beating the Patriots. The
Yeah.
Patriots are going to 13 and 3. Oh, let's see. Who did the Pats play their last game of the season? I believe it's the Miami Dolphins. Yeah, they get to host the Dolphins as well. I think that's probably a loss for me. The Buffalo's not taking the division this year. But just to hold out hope, let's go Buffalo Bills on the money
Yeah, why
line
not?
here.
Banger game. Give me
Let's
the
take
over.
them.
That's all I want. I want the over. I want a lot of points.
Well, we're looking at 43.5. I think that very well could go over here because we're looking at 40 degrees in Buffalo. That's not so bad. And both teams getting to play on turf. If you like points this game, I'd go over 43.5.
I like that a
Uh,
lot. I'm surprised it's that higher. I'm surprised it's not like a 48 and a half.
I just have post-traumatic over under stress disorder. So a lot of that does not go into circle of trust here. But yeah, me and TC are going to ride Buffalo this week. Okay, let's go. Next up, we got Sunday Night Football. Chicago Bears at 11 and 4 going to play the San Francisco
Another
49ers at
banger.
11 and 4 too. This is a tough one to call because you're looking at two teams here with identical records. Niners favored by 3 points at home. However, though, analytics are on the Niners side, giving them a 61% chance to win this matchup here. TC, both teams
I
have been
am too.
hot.
I
What are you
picked the
doing?
49ers to win the division. I'm going to stick with my boys. They are a good football team. They're healthy. They score. They look like they are finding their flow right before the postseason. Um, and I don't
Five
think it
five game
stops.
win streak too.
I don't think it stops here. I think the Bears finally meet their match. I mean, we've seen the Bears compete, and they love to have late game comebacks, which is like hilarious because they're. I mean, the amount of times they fight, but I I just don't think the 49ers are they will not give up 17 points. If they're up 17-0, they win that game. So I think the 49ers just have too high power of an offense, too good of a defense for the Bears. 49ers -3.
Yeah, Brock Purdy proved a lot to me on Monday night. I mean, he was
Five
just on
TDs.
the
Five
money. Every
TDs.
throw he had was just on the money on Monday night. He was dicing up the Colts defense. They put up 48 points. Like that game was out of control here. Yeah, they beat them
Cooking.
48 to 27. We saw Kittle in the end zone. We saw Jennings in the end zone. We saw McCaffrey in the end zone. A lot of guys are getting touches. So the offense is dominant. And I'm so impressed the fact that they're doing all of this without Nick Bosa and Fred Warner. I believe there's a chance Fred Warner could come back for the playoffs. So that's a possibility for them. However, though, I think Nick Bosa is just completely out for the season. I think if anything, if you're looking at a game like this and you're unsure, I would tease Chicago to plus 10.5. It seems
Yeah.
like every game the Bears play in goes down to the wire, and I could see this one also going down to the wire. I don't trust the Bears money line, but I would trust Chicago plus 10.5. If I have to pick a money line between these two teams, though, give me the 49ers here just because the offense is on fire right now. Okay, next up, let's end this week, TC, with the Los Angeles Rams at 11 and 4 going to play the Atlanta Falcons at 6 and 9 on Monday night. Monday night football, Monday night.
And the Rams, we know how they are in prime time.
Prime Tizzy, the Rams, 7.5 point favorites here with analytics giving them 72% chance to win this matchup. However, though, Falcons not looking bad recently with Kirk Cousins. They beat the Bucks and the Cardinals, and the Rams are 3-2 in their last five, having lost that 38-37 overtime banger last week on Thursday Night Football. TC, take us away, Monday Night Football.
Yeah, talking about a bounce back game, I think this is one for the Rams. I think yeah, they're just a better team overall, all aspects of the game, and I think Stafford finds his own and dices up Falcons defense. So I'm gonna stick with them 7.5. I feel good about that one too, but you know me and Circle of Trust on Mondays. I hate till it gets down to Mondays. I'd rather just have it on Sunday. So I like this a lot, but we will see if I.
All right, yeah. I mean, for me, I'm going Rams. I'm in as Rams preseason division winners. I was shocked that they lost that game last week, but they did. So that's something that, that's factored into the equation for them. But they need to get this win here, and there's just in a whole different class than the Atlanta Falcons are. The fact that they have motivation and are competing with the Seahawks, I think gives them enough to go down there
Exactly.
and get the win. And that's as simple as that for me. I mean, 7.5 is a weird number. I would take that though. I mean, if you put a gun to my head and tell me to pick one, just give me the better team here at the Rams. But Rams, circle of trust for sure this week here. All right, let's cook it up here, TC. Every game, that was probably the quickest we've ever covered
Now we
on the
flew through that
slate
thing.
here. We just flew through and
Go.
breezed by. But now it's
Quick
time.
listen.
I'm on the I'm on the checkerboard here, and I'm trying to think about strategy, just money line. Do I tease some of these things? I don't see a necessity here to get to plus 300 unless I had some sort of boost available, which I don't. So I'm not going to care as much about trying to get to plus 300 right now. I'm going to go Circle of Trust money line this week. That's how I'm feeling right now. How's your Circle of Trust looking for week 17?
You know, I'm on a 2 game win streak with plus 300 yard odds. I take a 6 leg teaser. I'm gonna do the same thing this week. 6 leg teaser. We're gonna keep it simple. Started on Christmas Day. We're gonna take the Vikings plus 18.5. It's Christmas Day. I don't think that, a team is gonna get blown out that bad. I think they can cover 18.5. So I feel pretty good about that. Get the week started tomorrow. Then we're also going to take the Denver Broncos minus 5.5. Feel really good about that game. Got a new quarterback for the Chiefs, their third string, and we feel really good with the Broncos. We're high on them, so we like them minus 5.5. Then we're going to jump to Sunday. We are going to go the Pittsburgh Steelers plus 3.5. So buying them to plus 3.5. I think if they lose to the Cleveland Browns, they don't lose by more than a field goal. We're going to take Pittsburgh plus 3.5. Then we are going to talk about a team that we both like. Is going to clinch the division. Is the New England Patriots, and so we're going to take them at minus 5.5 as well.
Hmm.
Just for some reason they go to overtime with the Jets. We still think they can win by a touchdown, and that gets you 6 in overtime. So we're going to take minus 5.5. Then we were talking about this game, kind of trying to figure out what to do. Are we going to take points or just a money line? I just went with the money line, and that is the Cincinnati Bengals. We think that they can beat the Arizona Cardinals. And then last but not least, we thought the Houston Texans were going to have a great game against the Chargers on Saturday. So we are going to take the Texans plus 7.5. These 6 legs get you to plus 353. So if you do have a boost
You can
available,
get a boost
you
on
can
that.
slap it on there. So just to recap real quick, that's Vikings plus 18.5, Broncos minus 5.5, Steelers plus 3.5, Patriots minus 5.5, Bengals money line, Texans plus 7.5. 6 legs plus
Ooh.
353. I mean, we're 2-0 in the last 2 weeks, so maybe we can make 3-0. Have a Merry Christmas.
No, we will make it to 3-0 and we will have a Merry Christmas because this is
Call the
fucking
circle of trust
parlay with
for a
the G's
reason.
and
The
TC is
circle
coming
of
out
trust.
hot 2 weeks in a row on his way to 3 weeks in a row here for week 17 and it all kicks off with Thursday football on Christmas on Netflix. We'll be ready to go here this week. I love it here, TC. 6 legs plus 353 total. You're learning, young Padawan. We got some teasers in here. We got some
Yep.
alternate spreads. Buy down to 6 points. Don't take the Broncos by 14. Take the Broncos by 6 in case the game goes to overtime. I love to see it here. All right, TC. I'm not trying to get aggressive here. I'm not trying to extend myself. I'm trying to get a win, and I'm back to my strategy of money lines. You like 5 money lines? I went down the slate. I'm picking the better teams, and I've got 7 money lines for you. And I'm also going to spare your Panthers this week because I want the Rams to win that division. So the Seahawks will not be in my circle of trust this
Thank
week.
you. Thank you. I
I'm
appreciate that.
I'm leaving the door open for them. All right, let's start up. How about them Dallas Cowboys money line against the Commanders? Next up, how about them Detroit Lions money line against the Minnesota Vikings? How about the Denver Broncos money line against the Kansas City Chiefs? Then let's take the Bengals. Why not? They scored 45 points last week. How about the Cincinnati Bengals money line against the Arizona Cardinals? We followed up with the Tampa Bay Bucks. They shit the bed last week. I trust them more than I trust Miami. It's an inner Florida game. Let's go Tampa Bay Buccaneers money line against the Miami Dolphins. After that, New England Patriots, they're the better team. I'm probably not going to hit Buffalo Bills as a preseason division winner, so let's profit off of it. Let's go New England Patriots money line against the New York Jets. And then let's finish the week here on Monday Night Football with my NFC West division winners preseason coming out, coming hot. I'll actually be rooting for the Panthers this week here with UTC. Let's beat the
Okay.
Seahawks for the
Let's go.
Panthers and let's go LA Rams money line over the Atlanta Falcons to push their way in contention to take that division back from the Seahawks. So I got 7 legs for you, all money line, plus 276 odds. You're right there on the nose of plus 300. If you want to get to plus 300, take the Broncos by 3. If you want to get to plus 300, take the Lions by 3. Take the Cowboys by 3. Take the Rams by 3. Take the Patriots by 6. There's some things that you can do there, but I will vouch for you for 2.5 points and 5.5 points on any of these teams that you like, but don't go more than those two numbers. So to recap, 7 leg money line: Cowboys, Lions, Broncos, Bengals, Bucks, Rams, Patriots. And that's how we're going to do it here this week. 17,
Seven
7 leg
wins.
money line, circle of trust. All right, TC, let's cap it off with Survivor. If if you were
Tough
still
week.
surviving, let's get
If you're
let's get
still
a let's get a greasy on the edge
Saints,
money line.
Saints against the Tennessee Titans. You definitely have the Saints. Take the Saints in your Survivor League. God, I mean, if you need another team that could potentially I mean, I don't even know who else you could pick. Maybe if you had the Steelers still, like that could be a nice pick too. But outside of those, you probably don't have any other teams left. So, uh,
Thanks.
hey,
All right,
NFC South, baby.
give me the Cincinnati Bengals. They're in our circle of trust. I probably would have picked the Bucks by now. I'd give you the Bucks over the Dolphins,
That's what I was
but
thinking too.
they're
Yeah,
probably gone by now. So yeah, let's go.
might still have the Bengals because Joe Burrow was injured for a while. I mean, unless you took him really early in
Who
the season,
day?
so
Who
maybe
day?
still have him.
Who day say
Yep.
gonna beat the Bengals? Go Bengals! All right, thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in to this Christmas week edition of Parlay with the G's. We got your Week 17 picks dished out. TC Ty Cobb, Panthers Nation, back in North Carolina, repping his squad. They got a good one with the Seahawks, and the Cowboys get to open up with some Thursday night Christmas games this week. We'll catch you guys in Week 18 to close out the season.
Yes, sir. Merry Christmas.
Peace.